English grammar, past continuous tense, active voice, question tag. In this lesson, we have discussed how to build a question tag with correct grammatical rules, examples and exercises, both affirmative and negative forms. There are more lessons on the past continuous tense under the topics below. How to write and where to use. Statements, affirmative and negative. Questions, affirmative and negative. All links are provided in the description. Past continuous tense. There are two types of question tags. Affirmative question tag. Example: I was helping them yesterday, wasn't I? They were waiting for him, weren't they? You were working last night, weren't you? Negative question tag. She wasn't talking too much, was she? He wasn't having dinner around 8 p.m., was he? We weren't playing football, were we? Past continuous tense. An affirmative question tag begins with a positive statement and ends with a negative tag. Positive statement. Subject was over, verb in ing form, rest of the sentence. Comma, negative tag. Wasn't or weren't, subject, question mark. This is the command format for affirmative question tags. A negative question tag begins with a negative statement and ends with a positive tag. Negative statement. Subject was over, not verb in ing form, rest of the sentence. Comma, positive tag. Was over, subject, question mark. This is the command format for negative question tags. Past continuous tense. Question tag. I was reading a book, wasn't I? You were reading a book, weren't you? We were reading a book, weren't we? They were reading a book, weren't they? He was reading a book, wasn't he? She was reading a book, wasn't she? It was reading a book, wasn't it? Past continuous tense. Negative question tag. I was not reading a book, was I? You were not reading a book, were you? We were not reading a book, were we? They were not reading a book, were they? He was not reading a book, was he? She was not reading a book, was she? It was not reading a book, was it? Negative question tag. Short form. I wasn't reading a book, was I? You weren't reading a book, were you? We weren't reading a book, were we? They weren't reading a book, were they? He wasn't reading a book, was he? She wasn't reading a book, was she? It wasn't reading a book, was it? Past continuous tense. Exercise. Write below question tag in affirmative and negative forms with subject I, you, we, they, he, she, it. I was talking too much, wasn't I? You were talking too much, weren't you? We were talking too much, weren't we? They were talking too much, weren't they? He was talking too much, wasn't he? She was talking too much, wasn't she? It was talking too much, wasn't it? I wasn't talking too much, was I? You weren't talking too much, were you? We weren't talking too much, were we? They weren't talking too much, were they? He wasn't talking too much, was he? She wasn't talking too much, was she? It wasn't talking too much, was it? Comment your answers. Thank you.